Alright guys, we've got a 2010 Impala with the 3500 V6 and it needs a power steering pump. So let me show you what this thing's doing. First of all, you can already tell that I can't even move the steering wheel hardly. So there's virtually no power steering right now. When I pulled it up in the driveway last night, it was just growling and growling like you wouldn't believe. I pulled the power steering reservoir cap off and there was just foamy power steering fluid in there. So right now it's got a click and blend door actuator too, but we're not going to worry about that. Anyway, yeah, basically no power steering. When you are driving it and you're able to turn it, the power steering pump just really growls. So we're putting a brand new power steering pump in. Now there's a couple different types of power steering pumps you can get. You can get the one that is just the bare pump with no pulley, no reservoir. And then you've got to pull the pulley off and the reservoir. Or you can do what I do. Just to make my life easier. And you can go with just a full assembly. It's got the pulley already on. It's got a new reservoir. And it'll make your life a little bit easier, not having to worry about swapping that stuff over. So I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna be able to put the camera so that you'll be able to watch this. First step is to get this cover off, which is about as easy as it gets. I'll just lay it right there. Put that back there. And then I'm going to take these two 10mm out so that I can get down there to the tensioner and get the belt off. And then it's just a matter of unbolting that pump, taking a couple lines off, putting the new pump on, and then filling it up. So let's get to that point. Let me get the camera mounted. First thing I want to do is take this bottle out. Just got a couple of these little 10mm nuts. And I think, yeah, this thing will just pop right up out of there. And there's enough hose where you can just lay it off to the side anywhere you need to. I'm going to see if I can get this harness out of the way. Just so we don't have to deal with it any more than we need to. And let's see if I'm gonna. And what I did when I pulled up on that tensioner, I just popped it loose from this idler pulley that's up front of the engine right here. All right. And all you got is, let me show you here. You can see a bolt here, there's a bolt there, and then there's another bolt that as you move the pulley, you'll be able to get to it kind of on the back side. Hopefully that's coming through. So let me grab a ratchet. Actually, I guess before that, I'm going to take some pliers and we're going to get these hoses off here. Alright, that one took a little bit to get off. And the high pressure is bolted on. We're going to have to get the pump up before we can get to it. So let me grab, it looks like maybe 12 or 13 millimeter. It's not 12, so it must be 13. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and take this, I'm going to take this junction box loose. Those were actually 11 millimeter. That should help me kind of move this around so that I can get to those bolts a little easier. One bolt. Second bolt. I don't know if you can see that last bolt right there, but now we should be able to pull that pump up out of its little spot there. And now we got this connection right there. I'm gonna go get a wrench. We'll wrench that off and then we'll start bolting the new one back on. Okay, so that's a 16 millimeter, it looks like. And there's the pump. Free and loose. So I'm going to get the new pump. I'm going to swap this one line, this little rubber line right here. Swap it over and then we'll start going back in with the new one. So just in case you don't get a pump that already has the pulley and the reservoir, let's say you just get just the bare pump, you're going to need a power steering pump pulley remover and installer kit to be able to pull the pulley off and press the new one back on. I'll put a link to this kit in the description. They're not very expensive and it's impossible to do without it. So if you don't want to buy the kit, you're going to need to buy the whole assembly to be able to get this job done. Now you really kind of want to change out this O-ring too. You don't necessarily have to. I have reused them, but And I was looking to see how close this line was to this line whenever I broke it loose. So try to get it back in the same spot and or real close, and you should be just fine. And all three of these bolts are the same size, by the way. This is a good idea to, or a good time to check your pulleys. Spin all your idler pulleys. Make sure that they are freely spinning. And the belt's back on. Of course, double check and make sure that you picked up all the grooves in the belt. That looks like we did. So this junction box is, I don't know how much it really helped me, but it allowed me to move it around a little bit. And it's only these two 11mm nuts. And then this reservoir. This reservoir's got a slot right here that goes down there. Make sure you grab that receptacle, and you should be just fine. Two nuts here, and then all we got to do is kind of put that harness back over here and then fill it up with some fluid. And then bleed it. All right, start it up and start bleeding it. Just keep bleeding it until it finally quietens down and you don't see a bunch of foam in your power steering pump. So I'm going to keep doing this until it's completely done. All right, guys, so we're done. I've got it bled out. Everything's back together. I don't know, it's probably been 15 minutes. I kept turning it back and forth. Also, I like to kind of rev the engine up a little bit and work all that air out. And now, it's still got a little bit of noise in it, depending on exactly where the steering wheel's at, but there's no more foam in the reservoir. So let me show you how she's working now. So you can hear it idle. You can't even hear the pump now. Now we're gonna turn the wheel. You can hear it growl here and there, but for the most part, she's nice and quiet. And as she drives this car, I think this is a college girl, and as she drives this car, more and more air will work its way out of there, and eventually it'll be completely quiet. It's right on the money as far as being full. So this car's good to go. Power steering pump, 2010 Impala with the 3500. You guys take care.